can score from outside the box as well. So John Rox's backline will have to be very, very careful about how they defend in this evening.
Well, the tension is building and will continue to pile on itself all the way to mid-October. And we may see an intense matchup here. It's Ford Madison in the Greenville Triumph coming up next on ESPN+. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Lineups and kickoff are coming up next. I thought that was good.
It's fine. It's all right. Yeah.
News and notes. How about the news? Kickers on the rise. Yeah. And then Jacksonville. I did see that. Timothy Tebow. No one from either team. We may just gloss over this one. Okay. Okay. How much time have we got on this one? Okay. The last one, the schedule. That makes sense. All right, sounds good. The time has come this Wednesday. Sacramento Republic are going to be in Orlando in the U.S. Open Cup final. You can tune in on ESPN+. Meanwhile, the Kickers, although doing well, don't have a game this weekend, so they could see themselves slide all the way to third place. Meanwhile, Tim Tebow, along with others in Jacksonville, are bringing the USL Championship to northern Florida.
No, it's exciting. 3 teams in Florida now, so good opportunity for the fans to travel.
As we look at the team of the week, neither team see themselves on here, haven't had the best runs of form recently, so they'll be looking to change that this upcoming week. As we look at the scoreboards, we saw the highlights just earlier at halftime, but here's a chance to get a look at them again here as we pivot to what's coming up next, both today and also this next week, Ross, including a game tonight that a couple of Greenville fans might recognize your voice.
Yeah, listen, game's on the hour, every hour this evening. Omaha, Chattanooga is a big one, and I'm sure a lot of people will be paying attention. You can join me for Tucson, Charlotte, 2 teams coming off disappointing losses on Wednesday. Really need 3 points, both of those sides.
That is absolutely true. And with that in mind, look at the games coming up the rest of this week on Wednesday and Friday. A couple of midweek action games should keep it fun here in USL League One. But with that in mind, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have the highlights and the stats here in the Oxford Barber Company halftime show.
Who's doing that game Friday? It's not me, is it?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I'm not doing it.
I don't think it's me either. Oh, Josh is doing Charlotte Greenville on Friday. Nice.
Josh Eastern coming down to League One.
Getting relegated.
Yeah. League One ends September, starts now. That playoff push is getting closer and closer to reaching its conclusion as the Greenville Triumph play Forward Madison here in Legacy Early College, presented by Plumbing in Pink. Welcome one and all to this broadcast on ESPN Plus. My name is Mark Schoenster. To my right is Ross Davenport. Ross, I mean, the intensity is only picking up game in and game out from here. And as we look at the standings, these are two teams right in the thick of it, brought to you by Hopkins Eye Center.
Yeah, Greenville was starting to pull away at the top, but only 2 wins in their last 6. Richard have been playing well, so things super tight now. Listen, Madison could find themselves out of the playoff picture by the end of the weekend.
I mean, if you look at how it goes, it just takes one slip up to slide considerably down the standings as we now take a peek at tonight's player to watch, presented by Joan Erlong Associates and Sotheby's. It's Lucas Coutinho.
Yep, creative former tormentor, man. He's seen his starts limited a little bit this season due to injury problems. He only has a goal and 1 assist, but this guy has the kind of game-changing technical skill that can turn a game on his head when he's given the opportunity. He'll have a new partner up front this evening as Jake Keegan gets his first start since early July in place of Jacob Labovitz.
As you see there, they have established a connection in the past, Jake Keegan and Lucas Coutinho. Meanwhile, on the other side, an electrifying player, Mateus Cassini. Greenville know all too well how powerful this guy can be.
Yeah, like Coutinho, another man from Brazil, dealt with some injury issues as well. He had a stretch earlier this season with 4 goals in 6 games, including this brace in the 3-2 win against Greenville, but he now hasn't scored since mid-July. However, very quick first step, can score from outside the box as well, so John Hawks' backline will have to be very, very careful about how they defend in this evening.
Well, the tension is building and will continue to pile on itself all the way to mid-October. And we may see an intense matchup here. It's Forward Madison and the Greenville Triumph coming up next on ESPN Plus. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Lineups and kickoff are coming up next.
We offer a full array of dental treatment, and what that provides you as a patient is you're able to come to one place and get comprehensive care under one roof.
I've always been greeted with a smile. They know me when I call. I trust them.
We'd love to see you at Wood Creek Dental. Visit us at woodcreekdental.com.
My name is Ryan Mackey, high performance coach for the 2020 USL League One champions, the Greenville Triumph. We are Greenville, South Carolina's pro soccer team, and we are 3-time USL League One finalists. Premier Medical Laboratory Services is a lab that we trust for fast, accurate medical diagnostics, and they keep our athletes on the field healthy and safe. We know we can rely on them to provide the results that we need on our way to becoming the next USL League One champs.
Today's USL League One broadcast is presented by Plumbing in Pink, the official plumber of the Greenville Triumph. "82 degrees here at Greenville, South Carolina, as the two teams take to the pitch. The Triumph taking on Forward Madison. It's their 3rd matchup of the season. As we now take a look at how these two sides have matched up earlier this season. Ross, 1-1 at this point. 2 impressive performances for both sides in front of their home crowds.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I think in the first 7 or so meetings between this side, we had 7 goals total. And then we had 7 goals in these first 2 meetings. Labovitz, that was when he was back scoring. Hasn't been scoring much of late. Will he find the back of the net? Nate Schultz with the own goal there. Cassini was such a threat in that second game. We'll see if he can light it up tonight.
As we look at the starting lineup, brought to you by Spartanburg Regional Healthcare System. A familiar face not in the starting 11 today.
Yep, 3 changes for John Hawks, the big one. Labovitz on the bench. Jake Keegan comes in now fully healthy. He was dealing with sort of a hip internal issue. We'll see how he partners with Coutinho. His first start since early July as 4-4 Madison, just the one change. Torres in for Temgia.
As we take a look at their 3-4-3 that they love to run in Madison. They've got an identity of what they like to play on the pitch, but still trying to figure out who they are as a team, according to Matt Glazer. As Madison donning their, I guess I'll call them half kits, where it's one color, one half, and one color the other. Meanwhile, Greenville donning their classic green uniform.
You will see lots of pink t-shirts in the crowd tonight because they were giving away Triumph Over Cancer shirts.
As we get this one going here, both teams with a victory over each other this season. Let's see how this one goes today between the Mingos and the Triumph.
So don't be fooled in thinking there's a lot of Madison fans there. I'm sure there are a few. They do travel very well. Their home crowds have been awesome this season again, back to pre-pandemic levels. Just been struggling. This shows you the parity in this league, Mark. 1 win in 8 for Madison, yet there they are still hanging around in the playoffs. Everybody knocking each other off, draws here and there. They've threatened to go on runs, but then they've had a couple of rough performances here and there. Could certainly use 3 points tonight to not have to worry about being below the line going into the week.
Well, it seems like any time a team starts clicking and you think, all right, I got an idea of what this team's doing, then
Yes.
another team gets on a run and knocks them off their horse.
Yeah, it's that point in the season. You and I talked about this before the game, Mark, about rotation, right? You're trying to keep guys healthy, but you're also trying to keep a playoff run going here. You want to try and keep some consistency in the lineup. Obviously, some teams are able to do that a little better than others. Greenville dealt with some injury issues, is starting to get slightly more healthy over the last couple of weeks. Noah Pilato back running again. I'm not sure if we'll see him before the end of the season. Tyler Polak, his knee issue perhaps not as bad as we expected, so we might see him as well. Luckily, they've had guys step up in their absence.
Got Noah Frankie getting back to health after his preseason injury and then getting injured just moments after getting back.
Yeah, and Don Smart, as you see in the middle of your screen now, he was dealing with a knee injury. He's good to start tonight. We'll see if he goes the distance. It'll certainly depend on the score as things go down. Fenton Evans back after his international duty. Got Miles Fenton and Peter Pearson if they want to go a little more defensive. The health is starting to get there. They just need to go on a bit of a run here if they want to try and grab one of those top 2 spots for their own. We obviously know that nobody wants to have to go to Omaha in the playoffs.
Yeah. Here's Nico Brown into the right flank. And that one cleared away. We're going to get a quick corner kick here. This corner kick presented by PNC's Corner for Kids.
Speaking of injuries, Brandon Fricky didn't start last game. He's been dealing with a hip problem. You see him jogging into the area here. Certainly one of the targets for this man, Alan Gavilanes, who came off the bench last week.
They're both the center backs. Fricky at 6'1", Evan Lee at 6'3". Gavilanes will look to service in a nice ball. Had some air under it. Lee back into the center. No one's there for it. And it's booted away by Alan Torres.
Yeah, Evan Lee didn't even come into the box for that one, Mark. That's a bit of a surprise. That's normally where he'd be hanging out. Fricky knocked it back over. I expect looking for Lee, but he was still down the other end.
Aaron Walker making the run there, pushing his way forward. But instead, it's Raiko Arozarena, the mid-season loan acquisition from Tampa.
Nice little move that. Phil Brino, great shot stopper, but had some inconsistent moments, a couple of errors. And they've been a lot better defensively since the arrival of Arozarena.
Being good defensively is one of the focuses today for Matt Glazer's side. But talking about that Omaha game, that midweek fixture, they went up a man but still conceded a goal on the road to Union Omaha. You're just saying you don't like going to Verner Park. And that's one of the reasons why is, I mean, Omaha could go down a man and still score goals.
Yeah, it's not a big deal there, right? Because you can sit back. Here's a look at the Wilson and Engelbart injury report. Obviously, the big ones there for Greenville are Noah Pilato and Tyler Polak. Jimmy Filer been out for the year with that broken leg. Audi Jepson's been out a good long while. Yeah, starting to get a little healthier. Less players on that out list. It was a lot longer a couple of weeks ago.
And there were times that we were barely squeezing it into that graphic there.
Yes.
1-0 loss at Omaha on Wednesday. Matt Glazer said a lot of the guys are frustrated but there isn't time to feel sorry for ourselves and lick wounds.
And Richards pointed the wrong way. It was a clear foul on Aaron Walker. Mateus Cassini asking what happened.
Here's a look at our keys to the game presented by Harper General Contractors.
Yeah, I asked John Harkes how you can stop the speed of this Madison team. He said, you got to move the ball quicker. Don't allow them to get settled and get them to beat you going the other way. And for Madison, yeah, attack with confidence. They've had scoring droughts at times. They've only had multiple goals once in their last 8 games coming into this one. So if they could find a couple tonight, certainly give them a much better chance of picking up 3 points. Listen, Northern Colorado got 2 goals here in the win.
Here's Cassini. Squares in the middle, and it just rolls wide. Looking to connect with Nazim Bartman.
Well, Mateus Cassini finding space.
That's the last guy you want to see with that ball if you're Greenville fans.
So look at it on the 11-11 systems replay. You can see the Greenville defenders tracking back. Derek Waldeck got caught out of position. That was just tantalizingly rolling. Slow motion wise, almost found the far corner of Paul Christensen's net. Derek Waldeck's got to do a better job of keeping an eye on Cassini. Can't let him get open like that. Waldeck has impressed since joining, but obviously still a new addition. Communication, I'm sure, improving every day with his backline mates.
It's also his first time having to play against Cassini. And here's Waldeck now. Now Walker, he could shoot. And Andrew Wheeler-Omiunu not going to let that get very far. Nico Brown now. Decides to take it himself. Not quite on the mark. So he'll go out for a goal kick. Despite the frustration, the mood was good yesterday, according to Matt Glazer. So they had some good laughs. Mentioned that they've got a good group of guys and they know what they need to do. Everyone's okay for the most part as well. Some tired legs, of course, and so we see a player down here.
Union, maybe.
There's 2 of his defenders behind him, and you are correct. Looks like he's good to go. As I was just saying, came out relatively as unscathed as you can be in a midweek fixture, especially going to Omaha. But you don't go out of a midweek game feeling absolutely great.
No, it certainly gives Greenville an advantage. You'd have to think in the final 30 minutes or so tonight. We'll see how Matt Glazer uses his substitutions in that regard. Jeremiah Strang, obviously a nice player coming off the bench offensively. Murillo and Temgi. Murillo, the former Greenville Triumph man, he's fallen out of favor to Cyrus Rod on the left side of this back 3 for Madison.
There's Torres, finds Cassini. He's got Gebhardt on the outside. He has to chase it into the corner. Can't keep it in play. It'll be a Greenville throw deep in their own territory. Here's a look at that injury.
Oh. Glancing blow, but it will still hurt.
Bartman gets pushed down, no penalty called.
Suicidal pass for Greenville. I'm not sure what they were thinking there. Almost made to pay.
Now Gavilanez going forward. He's able to get by Andrew Wheeler-Omiunu, but he tracks back and ferociously defends. Well done from Wheeler-Omiunu there. And now Walker finds Keegan to Gavilanez. Now Gavilanez with the cross, and Raiko Rosarena plucks that one out of the air. Andrew Wheeler-Omiunu and Aaron Walker both displaying some physicality, but first, look at this here. Actually looks like it was a pass for Madison.
It was a pass in, yeah. It looked like it was a Greenville throw initially. I'm not sure if we saw it from the camera. I thought Greenville had earned themselves the throw. That's why I didn't know how it got to where it got to, but yeah. And Aaron Walker with a lovely turnover. Find Jake Keegan. Just couldn't find that scoring chance yet.
Both these teams coming off a loss. Greenville losing at home last weekend, 2-0 to Northern Colorado.
That was a weird one. John Harks just said they were a little lethargic, just didn't quite have it. Sometimes you get those away teams coming in, they were short-handed. Listen, Northern Colorado's got as much talent on that squad as anybody else in this league. They did what they did and found a huge 3 points.
I mean, that's two players, too, who scored in that game that have been identified as premier talent in this league, in Jerry Dedew and, of course, Irvin Parra. Let's look at some of the games happening. Got a busy slate here this Saturday. It's hard to believe it's already September. It's the last full month of regular season soccer in USL League One.
It's going to be a great battle to watch all night. Walker against Wheeler Amayunu. Already starting here, the two of them battling physically. The two engines that make these trains run.
Yeah.
The song will be played during halftime from your favorite DJ, DJ Shay.
Nico Brown will tap it back to Noah Frankie, getting his second start in Greenville Triumph colors.
He started last week, and everything sort of started to go wrong when Frankie left the game.
Now Jake Keegan getting his first start in a while. Keegan into the center, cleared away. That needed to be a good challenge from Leonard. And out it goes.
You see Keegan frustrated there. That ball just cut past Leonard. But Eric Leonard, if he doesn't get some all-league honors after this season, I don't know what to say, because he's everywhere for that back three.
He's been fantastic. So we look at the 11-11 systems replay. Does what he needs to do. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL League One. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select, league's choice, player's choice.
Lovely ball by Wheeler Amayunu.
That ball tapped forward and into the hands of Paul Christensen.
Mikey Maldonado might want to take somebody on there. One of the best dribblers in the league.
A lot of playmakers on this Madison team. As far as playing style is concerned, Matt Glazer said, it's clear on the pitch. We know our strengths. We know some things that we can hang our hat on. And then he said that we also know of some things that we've been lacking all season, need to improve, and then there's the gray area things that have come and gone throughout the season, as they do. Now it comes down to how they handle the pressure of this final stretch of the season. Everybody at this point, you can count on two hands how many games they have left. And you can't guarantee any of these teams are making the playoffs, not even the Greenvilles and Richmonds of the world sitting at the top of the table. Keegan gets pushed down from behind by Mitch Osmond. It looks like we're going to get our first booking of the evening. Captain getting his 6th yellow card of the season.
I'm not sure what he's complaining about. It was a pretty blatant tackle from behind. It wasn't the most violent in the world, but Keegan was away.
The referee has issued
Going to beat Osmond for pace 9 days out of 10. Didn't have help in Leonard, but that was clumsy from Osmond.
Just kind of stumbled into him.
There's only one thing that's going to happen when you're chasing somebody from behind like that. By the book, that's a yellow, though. A dangerous free kick position here for Greenville. See if they can get a good delivery in. Aaron Walker in there. I normally wanted to take these, but Cavallani scored from his favorite left side.
There's the service, dipped down nicely, but Leonard is able to head it, and then it's flicked away by Maldonado. There's Don Smart, returning to the starting lineup. And that's what will roll all the way back to Paul Christensen. Coutinho, a player to watch today for Greenville. Look around the right side, working on Cyrus Rod. Now he's double teamed. He's able to slip it through to Walker. And Walker wins the corner kick. Another PNC's corner for kids coming on the docket.
PNC corners for kids taken by your
Set pieces has been a bit of the bane of Ford Madison's existence defensively. They have 7 goals allowed on set pieces this season, which is tied for most in the league, aside Ian Cameron's side and Tormenta.
Yeah, no Evan Lee in the box again. I'm not sure if this is something tactical John Harkes is trying to pay attention to, but the tallest player not in the box for a corner.
Rosarena loses it. Walker gets bodied, and Rosarena comes down with it. Slipped through his hands the first go-around. Luckily, he had some backup.
They would have taken some shot to finish through all that traffic, but this was clumsy here from Rosarena. He completely misjudged the flight of that ball. They got lucky that he had 5 defenders between Aaron Walker and the goal line. Rosarena got away with one there.
That was quite a Madison clump there between Aaron Walker and the goal. Here come Greenville again in transition. Coutinho teeing it forward. As the offside flag went up.
Well, that was a delightful ball. Keegan not complaining though.
I guess he was.
He timed his run perfectly, but perhaps Coutinho just held it a little too long. Could have given it. Oof, I thought Cyrus Rabb was keeping him on that far side.
That's close.
Listen, I'm not there, Mark. I'll give the linesman the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
Jay Keegan didn't complain.
I think that's a pretty clear indicator, but maybe Jay Keegan's just a cool-headed guy. Brown over here on the left-hand side now. Thumps into Cassini. That'll be a Greenville free kick.
Listen, anytime you turn your back like that, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. Cassini a little upset.
Here's a look on the 11-11 systems replay.
Just a clear block.
And just thuds into him. Talking about this Greenville side, Matt Glazer, like every other coach, always nods to the organizational strength that Greenville has, but he also mentioned that they're just very good at home and they play with a ton of confidence, and we need to match their confidence on the pitch. It's Nico Brown. Takes it into the 18. Brown fires, and it's a curler! A gorgeous strike from Nico Brown. And the Triumph take the lead here early. How about that with the right boot?
Great view of it. Nico Brown scored some key goals this season. That's another one.
His second goal of the season, Nico Brown. And that goal was presented by Nico Brown in the YMCA of Greenville. Just his 3rd start of the season.
Yeah, he had that key header. I think it was against Richmond in one of those 1-0 wins recently. This was a great turnover by Waldeck, though, and everybody just sat off. Nico Brown invited him to shoot. Did Mitch Osmond. Excuse me, that was, it was Mitch Osmond, and turned his back. Great finish by Nico Brown.
They challenged him, and he accepted that offer. Great take from Nico Brown, his 2nd season with the Greenville Triumph. Of course, came over from the Maryland Bobcats. Just moments after he switched over to that left-hand side like Harkes loves to do with his wingers between Gabelanez and Brown, who are out there right now.
Not sure what the delay was there. Lucas Coutinho was on the sideline for something for a second. Maybe he lost the contact.
Once again, that goal brought to you by Nico Brown in the YMCA of Greenville. We didn't put it in our keys, Ross, but we both agreed before the game that scoring the first goal was going to be pretty important in this game for either side.
Yeah, with the way Greenville plays defense, and with Madison with those tired legs, if they'd scored that first goal, they could have sat back a little bit, but now they're going to have to push. Maybe not quite this early, but certainly in the second half, you might see some earlier subs if they're still losing. Yeah, big goal for Nico Brown. After the turnover from Waldeck.
That's a good slipping pass, Nazim Bartman. The flag will go up.
Yeah, Waldeck was one of those signings. I asked John Harkes a couple of weeks ago if he'd signed him before the Tyler, we talked to him before the Tyler Polak injury, and he said, yes, it wasn't because of that, as a result of that. He said he'd been keeping an eye on Waldeck, obviously, since his time with North Texas. Had fallen out of favor there in MLS Next Pro. What a signing that might turn out to be. Raving about his game smart. It's a poor giveaway there, but super smart guy. If you watch, there was a great video of him when he left North Texas addressing his team. Just sort of the John Harkes prototype, right?
Yeah. When you look at those two records when it comes to scoring and conceding the first goal, worth noting Greenville haven't lost when they've scored the first goal. They also haven't won when they've conceded the first goal, so very important for the Triumph to get that goal there.
Yeah, with Fuego's win on Wednesday, that left Greenville as the only team not to come back from a deficit to win a game this season. Again, not a team that's designed to do that, right? They're not a particularly explosive offense, so they got off to a great start this season.
Look at the volleyed effort, and it goes. Looks like it would have been too high, and it was off the mark anyway. Alan Gavilanes. You know he's got the technical ability to pull off something like that.
That was a great run. Should have perhaps done a little better. Just misjudged the lob of Rosarena. Yeah, Greenville have more shots than they ever have this season. Just haven't been able to convert. Their conversion percentage, I think, is still last in League One. But obviously, when you're taking a lot more shots, your conversion numbers might be a little lower. It's not a team that's going to explode right for 3 or 4 goals on a consistent basis. When they do score that first one, very adept to just sitting back. Well, he's putting some pressure on now. Waldeck pushing forward. Well, sit in that low block and frustrate you for the rest of the night.
It's going to require some risk-taking from Madison to make something happen. Here's Derek Gebhard. And it'll be played out wide. Cassini working on Waldeck. Squares the ball. Headed to cross! And there's a response from the Mingos! Just what they needed. It's a 1-1 game. It's a beautiful cross from Cassini. And the captain confidently nodding it home. Well, actually looks like it's Nazim Bartman who got the header. Cassini went over to Osmond to celebrate first, but Nazim Bartman. Oh, so confident, yeah.
Superb response from Madison. Cassini, we talked about that first step. Talking about him as our player to watch. Just left Derek Waldeck for dead. Got the cross across to Bartman. First one there with a great placed header inside that far post where Christensen couldn't reach it. Cassini here, whoop, just turned on the jets. Got the cross across, and ball watching a little bit by Greenville. Gavilanes perhaps should have put a body on Bartman there. There was another Greenville player in the vicinity as well, but neither of them close enough. It was Noah Frankie. And a bit of ball watching from Greenville, and the result is 1-1.
4th goal of the season for Nazim Bartman. And Ross, I'm going to say it, that looks awfully similar to the goal that Irvin Parra scored just a week ago here.
I can't remember which coach it was. A few weeks ago said that Greenville are a little susceptible to stuff at the back post. Obviously proved true in the championship game last year. I remember the first goal for Omaha. We've seen a few times this year. As you mentioned, Irvin Parra at the back post. Not sure what the problem is.
And if I really dig back, I think Irvin Parra has done it twice against Greenville this season.
Yeah, he had that big thumping one in the first meeting.
But Derek Waldeck, meet Mateus Cassini. Holy smokes, his 4th assist of the season.
As soon as Cassini beats Waldeck, as defenders, you've got to go find a body and get between him and the goal, and neither Greenville defender did it there.
Coutinho just too far out of his reach. The flick from Alan Gavilanes.
And it's not like they're giving headers away to 6'4" defenders. It's shorter midfielders and forwards. It's a little frustrating, I'm sure, for John Harkes.
Yeah, Nazim Bartman only 5'7".
Listen, if you have the desire and want for that ball, it's like Charles Barkley in his rebounding. He was the one that wanted it most, and Bartman wanted that one, split the 2 defenders, and nodded it home perfectly.
You said it. Talk about needing a response, and here they come again. That's a good move. Ball centered inside. Waldeck heads it away. Gebhardt doesn't quite bring that down cleanly. Take risks, anticipate mistakes, collect rebounds. A lot of things that Matt Glazer was listing for what his team needed to do offensively. He mentioned that we get to where we want to every game offensively. As Gebhardt's in a nice spot. Gebhardt into the middle. It's a loose ball. Goes back, wind up shot, and it ricochets away. Saved by Paul Christensen.
Greenville's back line a little bit all over the place at the moment here. Waldeck caught again with a lovely slide ball through here. Just out of position. This was a good tantalizing cross. Christensen did well to knock it away. Could have fallen anywhere. And this was a solid save. There was plenty of bodies in front. Christensen certainly wouldn't have seen that one particularly cleanly. Bartman would have been on the end of that one if Christensen hadn't got a touch.
Bartman does well there too to hold up play and give him another look at it. So it'll be a corner kick for Madison, their first of the evening. Abdou Mbake-Jam will swing this one in. And it completely unmarked looked like it was Mikey Maldonado. Had an entire cushion of space all around him.
Yeah, Madison's movement continuing to cause trouble. Maldonado making that run across the box, nobody tracking him.
And there's a look at the man, Matt Glazer. Certainly an imposing figure, very tall guy, Matt Glazer. He's got to be pleased with the fact that they were able to bounce back that quickly. It's a daunting task being down 1-0 against Greenville. So that ball will roll out of play. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+. The home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
My son was watching MMA from Paris this afternoon on ESPN+.
You can get a little bit of everything on ESPN+.
It's ridiculous. The value there, you can spend all day on it. So much college stuff too. My daughter's a big softball fan. She watches all sorts of college softball on there. Obviously all of our games.
Lots of soccer to be had.
Obviously the US Open Cup final on ESPN+.
Yep, coming up this Wednesday. Here's Abdou Mbake-Jam trying to head it back to Bartman. Cassini now looking for the volleyed effort. That'll be easy for Paul Christensen.
Yeah, Madison flying numbers forwards, looking for that second ball.
Getting a bit windy here at Legacy Early College. It's not the balmy summer days of July and August anymore, Ross. We're into September. It's still warm. It's about 80 degrees, but from here on out, you're going to start seeing that temperature dip and dip and dip every single week.
I don't think Madison will be too concerned about that. They obviously things there. Hopefully will be, if they do make the playoffs. Did make the playoffs the first year, obviously. Lost in the semifinals that year to North Texas, but haven't made the postseason the last 2 years. Obviously resulting in some coaching changes with that. But in a good position here. But again, 1 win in 8. They have to start picking up some wins soon, especially if they want a home game.
Yeah, they haven't had a home playoff game yet, and can you imagine what that would look like?
I can imagine that place would be rocking with people in scarves and jackets in late October.
It would certainly be a buzzing atmosphere, that's for certain. Well,
yeah, listen, once college gets in as well in Madison, college students love to come out to the Madison games.
It's going to be madness, if it happens, of course.
Still a long way to go. It doesn't seem like a long way to go, but in USL League One terms, a month and a half, anything could happen.
Yeah, if you've been tuning in this season, then that table is going to shift and turn and blunder about for the next month and a half until October 15th, which is the final day. Gavilanes enters the 18, slips through to Coutinho, the back heel, Nico Brown. Tried to get his foot on it.
Big block there from Osmond. Good work from Greenville, though. That was a pretty bit of transition play. Noah Frankie was streaking down the outside. Gavilanes decided not to use him, and it was almost a beautiful pass. Nico just couldn't find the room to get that shot on target.
Evan Lee tearing forward. Dishes it out to Walker. Gavilanes on it now. He's able to slip it by. Evan Lee going way forward. Now Walker, and his shot or cross, whichever it was, didn't get very far. So now it's Alan Torres on the ball before giving it to Andrew Wheeler-Omiunu. Mentioned it before, it's triumph over cancer night in Greenville. Now feature special recognitions for cancer survivors. They'll have a pink giveaway, or a pink shirt giveaway. And of course a bunch of fundraising options and a lot of pink, which I'm sure makes it feel a little bit more like Bree Stevens Field for the Mingos as they come forward. Still with it now. Now Torres on the ball. Torres getting hacked at by Coutinho. Now Bartman. Bartman tries to shoot. And it's just off target.
It's been an entertaining game. Remember the beginning of this series between these two sides, there was nil-nils all over the place, but this one's been a little more wide open. Both teams willing to push bodies forward. Decent effort from Bartman here, just got his foot on the wrong side of the ball.
11-11 systems replay. It's the Matt Glazer effect on this series, I suppose.
Well, last year, remember, Madison had so many draws.
Yeah.
Referee Emma Richardson, a little bit of quiz about which who to give that to. She ended up giving the corner.
It's going to be a PNC's corner for kids.
Yeah, if Madison had just turned a few of those draws into wins last season, they would have waltzed into the playoffs.
Yeah, they are very close.
Cost Carl Craig his job. Again, a lot of draws are starting to creep in again, Mark, for Madison. 4 now in their last 7 matches. Coming into this one.
Got 10 on the year. Smart sends the corner inside, headed on. No one there in the middle of the box for Greenville.
It's a strange one. You normally have someone at the top of the box to pick up those scraps. There was nobody there for Greenville.
Gavilanes will tap it over to his right-hand side to Frankie. And this one crossed inside, trying to connect with Nico Brown, Greenville's goal scorer today. They've been trading blows here today in the first 30-plus minutes between Madison and Greenville. Both sides with a couple of decent chances, and both have capitalized off of one of them. Some great moments from Nico Brown, Mateus Cassini, Nazim Bartman, the goal scorer for Madison. And here's Bartman now. His pass stepped on by Don Smart.
Just like the score, been a very even first half. Both coaches will be relatively pleased. Took their chances well.
Osmond out to Derek Gebhardt.
XG for both teams very similar, 0.37, 0.34, 6 shots to 5. As Cassini is down in a heap on this near side. I think Madison have seen him. Landon's going to just knock it into touch now.
Cassini, such a valuable striker for this Madison side.
See if we can see what happened here on the 11-11 systems replay. Yeah, Waldeck came in and caught him. I don't think Emma Richards was even looking. Didn't see it. The AR on that side flag either.
Spot some pink shirts there in the Reedy River Riot section.
I see some people not willing to put those pink shirts on. I can understand.
Not today. Wear it tomorrow.
Yeah, Cassini is a little fragile at times. Seems to be all right after this one, though. It was a bit of a knock in the ankle, I think, from Waldeck.
Having a talk with Emma Richards, our head official.
Pretty good pedigree. Back in Argentina, Mateus Cassini played as a youth for Corinthians, one of the biggest teams in Brazil.
This is a chance for some words from the coaches. John Hark's sporting a pink shirt today.
He was playing in Bulgaria, of all places, before
Yeah.
making his move to Madison.
Pat on the back and some words from Matt Glazer. And this one will get teed all the way back to Raiko Rosarena, which is someone I wanted to talk to Glazer about this week because this is his 10th appearance for Madison now, Rosarena, as Cassini makes his way back onto the pitch. And if there's anyone I wanted to ask this question to in the league, it would have been Matt Glazer, so it's convenient that this lined up in this way. But I wanted to ask him about how long does it take for a keeper to go to a new environment and get acclimated to a team, to the players, to the style of play? How long is it? Is it a couple of weeks? Is it months? Is it an off season that you need in order for a player to get into it? And Matt Glazer said, well, there's a lot of variables that determine how that goes. It depends on the player, depends on the environment, what the team is asking for in their keeper. And he mentioned that Raiko gets asked to do quite a bit, including in possession and distribution, as we get a good look at him here. And already in his span of time being with Madison, Matt Glazer said his English has improved a lot, being a Spanish speaker, and his relationship with John Pascarella, who's the goalkeeper coach, has already developed nicely, and he can also speak Spanish, so that's a helpful tool to have as a coach in that regard. And he said it's tough to get into it in our environment. Again, this is not an easy system for a goalkeeper to be in, but Raiko's been honed in, been asking questions, and the coaching staff has been pleased with how he's come along.
Yeah, you mentioned John Pascarella. Really solid guy to have as an assistant in USL League One.
Yeah.
Plenty of MLS experience, was head coach with OKC in the championship. Obviously played goalkeeper, along with Matt Glazer.
A lot of sure hands on that Madison bench for certain.
Former Richmond kicker, John Pascarella.
There you go.
Just 1 year.
It is fun to play the former Richmond kicker game. A lot of them out there.
They have been around, something they're certainly very proud of. I noticed the other day that the head coach of my FAU Owls men's soccer team is a former Richmond kicker.
How about that? Cassini just gets checked to the ground by Brandon Fricky.
Good work from Fricky there. Cassini just bounced right off him. And Richards asking Cassini to be quiet. He's about to put himself into the book if he doesn't be quiet. Yeah, I think Emma Richards has heard enough from Mateus Cassini.
Yep, there it is.
Whether in English or in Spanish, or excuse me, Portuguese.
Yellow card number 8 on the year for Mateus Cassini.
Done smart.
Matthias Cassini. the 39th minute.
Was a little bit of pushing and shoving amongst number 10s. That'll be another Madison throw. A couple more minutes before we hit halftime here. Been a jam-packed, action-full first half of action thus far. We also had a jam-packed Wednesday, which Ross is all too familiar with. We're going to go over the highlights from that one after our first break at halftime.
Yeah, some interesting games there. Charlotte Tormente. If you go back and look at the stats from that Charlotte game, you wonder how the hell they lost 2-0. As Waldeck's beaten again.
And that one just skying over. Abdou Mbake-Jam with the squared pass. Mateus Cassini looking to be on the receiving end. Was he the one who got the touch on it, or was it a Greenville defender as we look on the 11-11 systems replay?
Oh. Sure how he missed that.
Christensen did get his foot on it, changing the trajectory just a little bit. That was enough to diffuse the concentration that Cassini needed, or at least the anticipation of where the ball was going to be.
The yellow card for Cassini is his 8th yellow of the year, but he did go 5 games without one, so he will have had one taken away, so no suspension yet.
Here's Nico Brown. Brown trying to slot it inside. It's punched up into the air.
That was a weird one. As Rosarena just kind of stuck his fist out.
Yeah, I think it got bounced off the side of his hand or something. And here's a look at that play one more time.
Oh, Christensen did get a touch, and that certainly made sure it hit a different part of Cassini, otherwise that was 2-1.
Yeah, it went off his face. Here's a PNC's corner for kids. A big moment, though, for Paul Christensen there. And now can Greenville do it on the other end? Again, set piece defending. Heavily emphasized by Matt Glazer. Ball looks good. It's punched away. Frankie making a run on the outside. Cavallania is back in the center. That was Eric Leonard once again heading that one away. You said it earlier. That guy is just everywhere, every game.
There's so many good center backs in this league, especially when you're playing as one of 3. A lot of work to do back there. I certainly hope he gets the rewards he does deserve.
That one just curling over the head of Jake Keegan, or Rosarena, able to let it fall into the breadbasket.
Plus Eric Leonard, the only player remaining from 2019. He's played all seasons.
I'll say he just passed 100 appearances recently.
Carl Schneider did play in 2019 with Madison, but he took last year, was elsewhere last year, so not 4 years consistently. But listen, if you can survive all the coaching changes, that means you're a pretty good player.
Absolutely. He's been a reliable man for Madison. Osmond with a lot of time. A bit of a pick there almost.
Waldeck got out of position again. He got lucky. Walker got a touch on that one. Oh, that's lovely.
Here's Gebhardt. What a move that is. Gebhardt still going. Gebhardt tried the squaring pass. Now can Greenville spring something on the counter. Coutinho gets held up by Alan Torres and then literally held up.
Well, is she going to her pocket? Alan Torres is a lucky man if he doesn't find himself in the book for that one. He just completely pulled down Coutinho. Or pulled him back, I should say.
Now Madison going the other direction. Alan Torres with some time to make a decision, and he'll delegate that to Rod, who then gives it to Leonard. Well, Ross, if I had to say that I needed to envision an even game in my head after 45 minutes, this is about what an even game would look like.
Yeah, Madison certainly had the better of this last 10 minutes or so, though. Certainly looked a lot more dangerous in the final third.
Here's Abdou Mbakejam into the corner. I'll go out for a throw-in. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. I'm doing Mbakejam in the corner. He's able to slip that one out.
Yeah, they've been racking up the passes in possession, as they always seem to do. The only League One team with more than 10,000 passes on the season. Just a question if you can make sure that most of them are in the other 2/3 of the field. If they start passing it around in your final third, you're in trouble. We've seen them certainly look very dangerous at times, and again here tonight. A bit of a wild shot by Wheeler Amayunu.
Well, not wild enough to go out of play as we get our added time, which is stoppage time brought to you by Engineered Sleep, the best handmade mattresses in town. So I want to pop over to the corner for Gebhardt. Gives it back to Bartman. Good with his feet. He can't get past the two Greenville defenders. And then a bit of a love tap there, knocking over Alan Gavilanes, and we'll quickly acknowledge the collision. Visit engineeredsleep.com for better sleep, by the way, as we approach the first of the 2 minutes concluded.
Derek Gebhardt will be one person to be excited about the addition of that Jacksonville USL Championship game. He spent a ton of time there earlier in his career. I remember him playing for the Armada. So went to Florida Gulf Coast University on the opposite side, just for 1 year, though. A lot of whistles going here. This will be a dangerous free kick here. Perhaps the last chance of this first half.
Looks like Walker and Gavilanes are over there. They'll have to decide which of them is going to end up teeing this one into the 18. Osman's already on a yellow card, worth noting. So Smart takes over, free kicking as this one dips down. Still in the area. Not sure if that made contact with a Madison player. The official's saying it did not. So will it be a goal kick?
Looked like it did from my position. I'm sure if Emma Richards had a good look at it. There were a lot of bodies in there. So we can see on this angle. Yeah, maybe it didn't. Might be the right call there. Maldonado may have gone straight through the wickets.
Pulling off the splits as we reach the conclusion of our first half. Both teams going blow for blow. Madison, good stretch at the end of that game. But for the most part, both teams with a chance. Both teams have notched one in. Anyone's game still in an exciting matchup. Game number 3 between the Mingos and the Triumph here. We're going to step aside for a moment. After this break, we've got the Oxford Barber Company halftime show coming your way here on ESPN+. We'll see you on the other side.
Is that a meatball?
What the?
Oh yeah, it's meatball time.
Limoncello, the official pasta and proud sponsor of the Greenville Triumph.
The unstoppable spirit lives inside all of us. For Matt and Lisa Kuhn, it's fueled by family, with a business backed by an unbreakable bond and a passion to innovate. They've become leaders in last-mile transportation. That's why First Horizon is proud to celebrate unstoppable spirits like Matt and Lisa. From the first stop to the final destination, we use our understanding to keep our clients on their unique path to success.
When you donate blood with the Blood Connection, you're helping to save lives right here in your community. Donate blood with the Blood Connection, your community blood center.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
Halftime tonight in Greenville, South Carolina, presented by Oxford Barber Company. Before we start getting into the nitty-gritty of this week in USL, let's take a trip back to our triple header on Wednesday. Had a lot of fun, a lot of table shifting. Ryan Rose has got the action here.
Charlotte and Tormenta tied for the final playoff spot, identical records in sixth, and in the 6th minute, Gabriel Cabral saved but off the crossbar, cleaned up by Keziah Sterling, 9th of the season for him, and that's the earliest goal for Tormenta this season. 6th minute, Gabby Overton had to come off in the 30th for Charlotte, but later in the half, Charlotte crosses it, dealt with by Jake Dingler, headed by Ybarra ahead to Tresor Mbuyu. Best early chance for Charlotte, saved by TJ Bush, 1-0 at the half. Second half, 71st minute, Toby Otieno leaves it left side for Kingsford Ajay, who was a halftime sub and got it past Zendejas with the right foot just inside the post. His 6th of the season, 3rd since July 30th. Tormenta 2 wins in a row, now 2 points ahead of Madison for 5th. Madison at Omaha, where Omaha's never beat Madison, but Amir Ali Hadzik in the 50th minute, a face full of Mikey Maldonado. He is sent off. They're down to 10 men. Madison on the attack. Cyrus Rod ahead to Nazim Bartman. His shot in the middle of the box, blocked by Dalton Knutson in a makeshift back line. They've lost some players to injury back there, and they're doing what they can to keep the ball out of the net. We go to the 77th minute. Connor Doyle's corner headed back across the box to Corey Herzog, his 90th professional goal. A 10-man Omaha squad goes up 1-0. That is the second goal and an assist in the last 3 home matches from Herzog for a good addition for them. Late in the match, they get it ahead to Cassini. He can't get it through. That's the 9th shutout of the season for Omaha. That ties with them with Greenville for the most. And now Omaha just 1 point out of first place, which is a tie between Greenville and Richmond. Late night, we go to Fresno. Central Valley taking on Tucson. Tucson, all their wins on the road. Central Valley, only a couple wins at home. 16th minute, they get it to Jacob Kroll down the left side. He will send it across to Franco Perez, a levitating header. It's 1-0, his 2nd of the season. Look at this levitation, just over the backside of the defender. The keeper can't reach it. Just 9 minutes later, 25th minute, ahead now to Franco Perez for the calling for the ball, Donnie Toya. Look at him, he's calling for it. I'm open right here, and he just guides it in. 2-0 Tucson. 9 minutes later than that, Mohamed Dabo's left-footed corner comes in to the floating head of Christian Cheney. Speaking of levitation, look how high he gets. It's his 6th. That takes the team lead over. But in the 40th minute for Tucson, Meng Sunday dives for a loose ball here. Deemed a dangerous play. He's given a straight red card in the 40th minute, so Tucson will also be down a man. We go to the 52nd. A turnover in the back leads to Ramos' replacement, Alexi Cerritos. He leaves it for Sharif Dayi, who puts it home, a missile from 23 yards out. What a time for his first Central Valley goal. The match is level at 2. 75th minute, Michael Hornsby, another left-footed corner to the top of the foot of Victor Falk. His 6th, he ties with a team lead with Cheney, and that gives Central Valley the win at home, their 3rd home win. Now they are tied with Charlotte, identical record at 30 points in a tie for 7th place in the table. What a Wednesday it was. More halftime is coming up next.
improbable! It's indomitable! And Sacramento Republic are off to the final!
Is that a meatball?
What the? Oh yeah, it's meatball time.
Limoncello, the official pasta and proud sponsor of the Greenville Triumph.
The time has come this Wednesday. Sacramento Republic are going to be in Orlando in the U.S. Open Cup final. You can tune in on ESPN+. Meanwhile, the Kickers, although doing well, don't have a game this weekend, so they could see themselves slide all the way to third place. Meanwhile, Tim Tebow, along with others in Jacksonville, are bringing the USL Championship to Northern Florida.
No, it's exciting. 3 teams in Florida now, so good opportunity for the fans to travel.
As we look at the team of the week, neither team see themselves on here, haven't had the best runs of form recently, so they'll be looking to change that this upcoming week. As we look at the scoreboards, we saw the highlights just earlier at halftime, but here's a chance to get a look at them again here as we pivot to what's coming up next, both today and also this next week, Ross, including a game tonight that a couple of Greenville fans might recognize your voice.
Yeah, listen, a game's on the hour, every hour this evening. Omaha, Chattanooga is a big one, and I'm sure a lot of people will be paying attention. You can join me for Tucson, Charlotte, 2 teams coming off disappointing losses on Wednesday. Really need 3 points, both of those sides.
That is absolutely true. And with that in mind, look at the games coming up the rest of this week on Wednesday and Friday. A couple of midweek action games should keep it fun here in USL League One. But with that in mind, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have the highlights and the stats here in the Oxford Barber Company halftime show.
At Stretch Zone, their certified practitioners perform each stretch, which isolates and stabilizes those muscles. They do all the work, you get all the benefit. Whether you're looking for increased performance or greater mobility, Stretch Zone can help you realize your goals with their stretching sessions.
I've really found a difference in the flexibility in my knees and my walking pace and whatnot, so I'm very pleased with the progress in 2 weeks.
Come experience the difference today. Stretch Zone, Greenville and Clemson.
The unstoppable spirit lives inside all of us. For Matt and Lisa Kuhn, it's fueled by family, with a business backed by an unbreakable bond and a passion to innovate. They've become leaders in last-mile transportation. That's why First Horizon is proud to celebrate unstoppable spirits like Matt and Lisa. From the first stop to the final destination, we use our understanding to keep our clients on their unique path to success.
When it comes to banking, would you rather be a customer or an owner? At Greenville Heritage Federal Credit Union, our members are owners. We don't have shareholders, so our members enjoy lower fees and loan rates and higher deposit rates. And contrary to popular opinion, it doesn't matter where you work. You can join if you live, work, worship, or attend school in Greenville County. A minimum deposit of $5 in a savings account gives you access to a world of benefits. Visit GreenvilleHeritage.com for more information on how to join. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
Tonight's USL League One broadcast is presented by Plumbing in Pink, the official plumber of the Greenville Triumph. It was a fun first half of action here as the sun continues to set here in Greenville, South Carolina for the tail end of the Oxford Barber Company halftime show. Let's take a peek at the first half highlights brought to you by Palmetto State Home Mortgage. Mark Schoenster alongside me, Ross Davenport. Some chances early for Forward Madison here to get these highlights going.
Yeah, this one just rolled tantalizingly past that far post. Madison dominating possession in the first half as expected. Paul Christensen made a couple of key stops to keep this one tied.
And then here is the first goal of the evening. Nico Brown with a curling effort from the left-hand side.
Yeah, Gebhardt with the turnover. Mitch Osmond just backing off too much on the speed of Nico Brown. That's a quality finish.
And just bend that over to the right-hand side. Then he needed a response. Here's the response. Mateus Cassini doing his damage and then serving up a lovely ball to Bartman.
Yeah, Bartman. Back post header goal given up by Greenville. Cassini turned on the Jets to beat Waldeck. It was a lovely, well-placed header to make it 1-1.
Some apt celebration there, but the action would not conclude. Nearly had another goal here as Derek Gebhardt played it into the middle. Paul Christensen.
Yeah, that one won't count as a save. This one will. It was a crucial first touch from Christensen. Kept it out the way. Perhaps Bartman, who would get the ball in the end. That's a quality save through traffic by Christensen. He would have another glancing touch later in the half that would deny Cassini a great chance at the back post. There's your stats. 64% possession. To be expected by the team leading the league in passes. 3 shots on target. Yeah, Greenville are going to have to get things going a little more in the final third. See how the Madison legs last in the second 45 mark.
The stats presented by Warehouse Services Incorporated. Like you mentioned, Greenville played last Saturday. Madison had a road trip to Omaha on Wednesday and then another road trip today to Legacy Early College. If you want to talk about 2 places that are tough to play as a road team, Omaha and Greenville are definitely up there in that discussion as the hardest.
Yeah, plus Matt Glazer only made the 1 change coming into this one. So we'll see how long he goes to make any more changes. You think, excuse me, let's think about the hour mark.
So we are going to get 1 substitution. Talking about player changes, Jacob Labovitz didn't get the start for the first time in quite a while. And he's going to come in for Jake Keegan and get a good 45 minutes of action.
Yeah, Keegan, not a whole lot of action in that first half. Popped up early with a couple of decent moves into the box. And 11 touches in that first half for Jake Keegan, a team low.
So we'll see if Labovitz, who has been, of course, in the lead in the Golden Boot race at times this season, seen a little bit of a dry spell, at least for the standards of someone who's scored 11 goals this season. Been over a month since he's last notched one in. Maybe coming off the bench from a new perspective can give Greenville what they're looking for in this game. The expected goals right now, .68 to Madison, .37 for Greenville. And we'll see how the next 45 minutes go. If it's anything like the first 45, should be an exciting, action-packed, thrilling matchup.
Yeah, Labovitz, this is his first year out of college. This is sometimes when the first-year pros start to hit a wall a little bit, although he didn't play a whole ton in the first month of the season, wasn't starting.
That substitution brought to you by Spinks. That's Nico Brown. Cannot get it past Rod. He's able to stab it out of play.
Substitution at the half for Greenville. Entering the match, number 18, Jacob Labovitz. Leaving the match,
The question is, can we defend? That's what Matt Glazer said, especially on set pieces, and can we execute in the final third? He mentioned that this matchup was going to be a challenge given the fact that it was a tough road game coming off of a short week, like we just said earlier, which was another tough road game at Omaha. And there is Labovitz. Getting it to Brown. A bit of a tag teamed effort. We'll knock it out for another Greenville throw. Not the best touch there from Coutinho.
Labovitz now 3 goals behind Emiliano Terzaghi for the Golden Boot lead. Tied with Irvin Parra. 1 ahead of Guang Lindros and Garrett McLaughlin.
Shocking, I know, that Emiliano Terzaghi is leading the Golden Boot race.
Can't keep him quiet. Keziah Sterling coming up from behind in that Golden Boot race as well.
That's certainly not all wrapped up. Another player within that sort of 8-9 goal category could go on a tear like Labovitz and Terzaghi have had at points this year. The likes of Trazer and Mbuyu, Garrett McLaughlin, you mentioned Keziah Sterling. These are all guys who have the capability of just going crazy. Mbuyu and McLaughlin at times this year were at the top of the Golden Boot race, along with Labovitz and Terzaghi, who is currently in that spot. League One has some talented goal scorers.
Terzaghi with 18 last year. Greenville's Marius Lomas finished second with 14. He's obviously gone now, as well as Greg Hurst, Sean Hundal, Marco Micheletto, Evan Conway. Score goals in this league, you'll find yourself moving up.
Here's a look at that contact on the 11-11 systems replay. Derek Gebhardt getting tangled up with Derek Waldeck. There's John Harks. Chin up, looking down the pitch.
Son Ian Harks had a cup winner earlier this week for Dundee United.
There's a move. Nazim Bartman. A lot of Greenville players around him. Oh, to look to switch it. Waldeck got the worst of both situations there. He could have whiffed it and it be a Greenville throw, or get his head on it and redirect it, but instead just glancing off of him.
Yeah, he just seemed to misjudge that one a little bit.
Torres with the back heel. That slipping pass through. Still up for grabs, but now there's Brandon Fricke. Nico Brown with some room to work with. And there's nobody there. I was almost half expecting that camera to pan and someone to be over there.
I know Labovitz was asking for it, but Labovitz was never going to get to that ball. He's asking for it central. I'm not sure what Nico Brown was thinking there. We'll forgive him, though. He's already scored one tonight.
So on the highlights, an excellent curled effort from Nico Brown. Gave Greenville the lead, only for Madison to draw it back up just moments later. That's tough to do. Greenville, such a tough team when they're on top. Walker over wide. It's Derek Waldeck again. A rare poor touch from Alan Gavilanes. It's going to be a Madison throw. Let the experienced team at Fifth Third Bank help you achieve your financial goals. Mentioned Madison in their advantage in possession this game. As we get to this final stretch of the season, I asked Matt Glazer, what is something you can rely on that you know your team's going to do well game in and game out? There's some pressure here, forcing the long ball down the pitch. And Matt Glazer said, over the macro, we've been able to move the ball pretty well. So we build well from our half into theirs. He also said, recently, we've done well defensively, box defending and pressure, limiting chances game by game. He said, we just got to shore up on those set pieces.
One thing in this match is that Greenville aren't the best team at set pieces, whether it's striking them from distance or deliveries. It's been something that John Harks has wanted, more goals from set pieces. It just hasn't materialized. So one thing Matt Glazer might not have to worry about, as long as his team doesn't give anything stupid away deep in that final third the rest of the way.
I mean, that can make or break game, set pieces, especially when you're in one where it's just tough to find that goal. You can just make something happen from just a couple of players making a good play, a good run, serving in a nice ball. Andrew Wheeler-Omiunu tried to slot it forward. Nazim Bartman will end up collecting it one way or another. There's a turn from Alan Torres. There's a leading touch. And then the pass from Cassini. He's not able to find Mbake Jam. Now Coutinho going down. Gets by Leonard, but it's a heavy touch. And that ball will go out of play. USL is all for Republic. Tune in to the US Open Cup final as Sacramento Republic takes on Orlando City SC. Show your support using the hashtag #AllForRepublic on social media and watch the US Open Cup final September 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. So we've been waiting for that one.
Waiting's right, Mark. It's such a long time between the semis and the final, but I know all the Sac Republic fans will be fired up. Hopefully many will be able to make the trip across the country. It's certainly a long way to go. But listen, you can't not go to the Cup final.
Yeah, can't pass up that opportunity if you have the chance to.
My team, Bournemouth, got to a Cup final at Wembley back in the day, and I didn't go, and I still regret it, even though we lost. Team gets to a final. Make the effort to get there if you can.
Yeah, an experience worth having.
Listen, Orlando is a relatively easy place to get to, even from the West Coast.
Well, it's a place built for tourists, that's for certain. Mikey Maldonado will play it away with the shirt hiked up. Madison looking to probe forward. There's Maldonado into the 18. The top of the box. Torres could shoot, and he'll take it. Now he's got a boot on it. That one not on target to challenge Paul Christensen. He has scored from outside the 18 before, and it's actually his only goal this season. It was a skipping effort against Northern Colorado as we look at the 11-11 systems replay.
Yeah, decent strike there from Torres. He had room. Just couldn't get its dip enough to challenge Paul Christensen. It's a lovely ball, though.
As you saw a moment ago in the top right corner, Omaha and Chattanooga underway. That should be an interesting one. I would definitely recommend tuning into that one after this one concludes. Of course, if you watch the game between Omaha and Madison, you know that Amir Alihadzic will not be playing in that one due to a red card suspension.
That was one of the sillier red cards you'll see. Can't make contact with a player's face.
Omaha, though, right in the thick of that top-of-the-table race now. They were always a couple games behind everybody else throughout the season, especially due to that Open Cup run they made. And now they are just a game behind, if I recall. 22 games to Greenville and Richmond's 23. Of course, after today, they'll be 23 and 24, but I digress. Those three all interested in not only getting a bye, but getting that #1 spot. Want to host that final if they can get there. Greenville, of course, have been finalists every single season that this league has existed. Looking to make it 4 for 4. Cassini across the middle, and Bartman gets denied, but the second effort, it's tangled up with Waldeck.
It was a nasty collision. Eric Waldeck sacrificing himself to block that shot.
Nazim Bartman, the one who had the second chance opportunity.
Nico Brown with a superb defensive effort too on the first attempt. Waldeck's up on his feet. Getting cleaned off by Brandon Fricke. of the turf dirt.
That's what teammates are for. Torres having a word with Emma Richards, our head official.
Bartman appears to be all right.
Here's a look at it again on the 11-11 systems replay.
Nico Brown.
It was actually Abdul Mbake Jam who went down. Bartman had the first chance.
Yeah, Bartman was just waiting for that ball to get to him. He thought it was going to. Nico Brown coming up big on both ends of the field tonight.
Gets the high five from Waldeck. Fair play. Just two guys and a high intensity moment. Clocking against each other. One looking to score, the other looking to do everything he can to prevent it.
Do they both have to come off here? Looks like Mbake Jam certainly is. I don't think Derek Waldeck came off, as you see Jesus Ibarra getting ready to come on. Missed most of training this week, dealing with a personal issue. Mark's was glad to see him back on Thursday.
Frankie over to Labovitz. The only substitute in this game thus far. Made at halftime. Now Walker to Coutinho. Coutinho trying to pop it on the veer around. And then getting a bit too pushy there.
Substitution presented by Spinks for Greenville.
And that substitution going to happen.
Entering the match, number 11, Jesus
So
Ibarra.
Jesus Ibarra is going to come in for Lucas Coutinho.
And number 19,
And then also Venton Evans going to come into the game, coming back from representing his country. He'll slip in for Nico Brown.
and number 77, Nico Brown.
Yeah, not an international window, so Jamaica were a little short-handed, but still great to see Venton Evans getting to play for his country. What an honor. No matter the situation, played a couple of games in Austria against Morocco and Qatar.
That's
of all places, you know, just as you do. You go to Austria, play a couple of countries from all the way out there.
Those substitutions brought to you by Spinks. It's his debut with the senior national team for Jamaica. Does have appearances with the U23 and whatnot.
Certainly bringing on some fresh legs and going to challenge this Madison back line. Already.
Labovitz. Bit of a tight pass to Ibarra. Rosarena will clear this one out of play. Mentioned in the first half, Ross, you can count on one hand, or on two hands, excuse me, how many games left every single one of these teams have. Matt Glazer mentioned that every game has been a playoff game since their last road trip to Northern Colorado. And on top of that, this is the team that is finding out who they are. He said it kind of feels like we're an expansion side, even though, of course, this club has been here since the league's inception. And, of course, does well with the jerseys and the branding and the fan culture. He said we're trying to see exactly what this team is made of, how we cope with pressure.
It's a weird season because you've got the games you have left. Everybody knows it's going to come down to the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
So for anybody to get too excited right now about a couple of wins, it's just how it is in this league with the parity that you can find yourself here 1 week and then 2 weeks later you're down there or up there. So everybody's just trying to pick up points where they can and stay as healthy as possible until that last stretch run when things really start to get tight. Saw some action on the Madison bench a few seconds ago, so it looks like Matt Glaze will be ready to make his first change here momentarily.
Definitely interesting to think about given the fact that they played on Wednesday, to keep that starting 11 that goes mainly unchanged from that Omaha matchup.
Well, you mentioned set pieces, Mark. Here's one here for potential Greenville scoring opportunity. Just got to get the delivery right.
So Justin Suko is going to come into the game. Derek Gebhard will make his way out. Suko definitely a more aggressive player than Gebhardt offensively. And it looks like Cyrus Rod has been given his 6th yellow card of the season. So now both Rod and Osmond with cards. As the ball comes singing in, and Rosarena springing to action.
Yeah, that's one of Greenville's favorite routes, just to go to the back post of Fricky, and Rosarena was there waiting for it.
Walker just stuttering forward.
And you see him, he was getting frustrated at Labovitz, waiting for him to make a run. Clearly he didn't get what he was looking for, the Greenville captain.
There is Justin Suko. It's his 19th appearance of the season, but has played under 400 minutes. Mainly been an off-the-bench guy. Got goals last year for Madison, but hasn't scored yet this year. Now is as good a time as ever to get that first one.
Would be timely.
Waldeck up to Ibarra. He's able to get that one off the outside of his foot.
I think he may have clipped Eric Leonard.
And you are correct there. It's a PNC's corner for kids. And they quickly take it. Ibarra to Gavilanes. Waldeck with the cross inside. Just going by Labovitz. Almost unsure how that didn't make any contact with him. It looked like it fell right to his head.
Certainly looked like he was on the right side of Rosarena. Let's take another look at it here. Maybe just an inch too short of a jump. Yeah, it was maybe not as close as it looked on first sight.
As a reminder, alcohol sales will end at the 70th minute.
Rod switching play. He's got some space over there. Andrew Wheeler Omiunu now. There's Mikey Maldonado working on Venton Evans. To Bartman. Into the center, back to Bartman, but his touch is too heavy.
He's looking for the 1-2 with Suko. I thought Bartman had a second or two to have a shot himself. Almost worked off being unselfish, though.
Cassini recovering from that poor touch he had. And Labovitz with a push. There'll be a free kick here. The reigning title holders visit in-state rivals as the USL on ESPN2 continues. Orange County SC looks for a late season surge against Sacramento Republic FC Sunday, September 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. An eventful month here for Sac Republic. Open Cup game, ESPN2 game against the reigning champs. They're looking to become champs themselves on Wednesday, as we've previously discussed. Venton Evans coming with the exuberance of someone coming off a national team debut. Walker with the effort. It gets snuffed.
Guess who with the block? Eric Leonard once again.
Service comes inside. Labovitz's header goes over the crossbar.
He was offside anyway, perhaps. It was a whistle. Maybe not. I thought I heard a whistle. If not, Labovitz should have done better there.
Whistle blown after the play, so that was a chance for Jacob Labovitz to give his team the lead.
Yeah, should have put that one on target.
Immediately puts his hands on his head. Want that one back, the Virginia Tech product.
Charlesmond feeling a long night after a long Wednesday.
He'll limber over to the ball. Get some water from his keeper. captain's armband, the Australian, Mitch Osman. Talk about the team that leads the league in passes. Mitch Osman leads the league in passes for an individual player. Coming into today, of course. Just too shy of 1,400, so certainly he's passed that in tonight's affair.
No shots on target in the first half of this second half for either side.
Christensen prevents a corner kick from happening. It's a chance for Greenville to take top of the table if they can get 3 points. So actually, they'll get top of the table with a draw as well. Richmond not playing today. So they could hop over the kickers as Omaha and Chattanooga are also playing right now. Omaha could take over first place if they get a victory, and Greenville doesn't take 3 points. But currently tied up at 1 apiece, and worth noting Chattanooga, if they could get a win here, they could start getting in that discussion for a bye going into the playoffs. Just goes to show you that you can't assume anything, even when there's only 8, 9, 7 games left for each of these teams.
Yep, no easy wins anymore. We've seen Tucson, even despite being bottom of the table, fighting in every win. John Parliament said the other night that they're the best last place team ever in League One history. So many one-goal defeats.
Labovitz with a lot of room to work with. Squares it across the middle. And it's a wide, gaping open goal. Alan Gavilanes, the easiest one he'll notch in his life. It's 2-1 to the Triumph.
What a smart play by Labovitz. Rosarena comes so far out of his goal. Left Gavilanes wide open. With some half-hearted appeals for offside from the Madison players, but I'm pretty sure Gavilanes was behind the ball. I'm sure we'll get a look at it on the replay.
Here's a look at it.
Through by Ibarra, unlocked that defense right behind Leonard. Yeah, Gavilanes definitely behind the ball. And 2-1 lead for the Triumph. First shot on target in this second half finds the back of the net.
Assist number 2 in his career for Jacob Labovitz. Goal number 4 for Alan Gavilanes. Of course, that goal presented by Alan Gavilanes and the YMCA of Greenville. Of course, I would say you can thank Jacob Labovitz as well for that one.
Well, 2 substitutes making a big impact on that goal. Eric Leonard perhaps feeling tired not only in his legs as well as mentally. Just lost track of the run of Labovitz. 2 beautiful passes and the ball in the goal.
Frankie bringing up the pitch. And that's going to be a foul. Well, Greenville fans, the Triumph have scored 2 goals at home, so you could go to Habitat and provide your match day ticket or say code Eat More Beer to receive $2 off happy hour pricing. Make sure you take advantage of that. Now we'll see, can Madison find a quick response like they did in the first half? Hasn't been exactly as chance heavy as the first half of action was for either side.
Cassini on the ground again. He just wants to inspect this turf. Yellow for Ibarra, I think.
It's either Ibarra or Aaron Walker.
A late card.
Well, it looks like we're going to get another substitution for Greenville here soon. Saw a green jersey getting prepared to come on. And look at that, Jamie Smith. Look to help shore up defensively, see this game through for the home side.
Interesting to see who he replaces here. Well, obviously knew Brandon Fricke was dealing with a slight hip problem. Smith could also play fullback. Frankie perhaps still not ready to go 90 minutes after missing that big chunk at the start of the season and getting injured a couple of games after his return.
Sign didn't indicate the proper substitution numbers because it had 24 up on the board. So Noah Frankie will come out. That substitution brought to you by Spinks. Smith, of course, can plug into that spot as we get 2 more substitutions for Madison. Jeremiah Strang and Drew Connor, who's finally back to health, coming into the game. Strang is definitely the kind of guy you need to get out there. We'll get you updated on who they've subbed in for in a moment. So Connor comes in for Torres. Jeremiah Strang coming in for Bartman. And then Rojay Smith is also coming into the game. And then Abdou Mbake-Jam also coming out of the game.
Well, if that's 10 yards, Mark, I'm not. It's more about 15 that Gavilanes is back.
Strang with the bending effort. Dipped down rather quickly.
Had some dip on it.
And now we're getting confirmation it was Aaron Walker who got the yellow card earlier. So the shot, a dipping effort from the Finnish striker. Just subbing on, it's his first look on the ball.
Jeremiah Strang certainly presents a different look. Up top, big body. Strong can strike them, as you saw there, on that free kick.
All these substitutions brought to you by Spinks. Can Madison find an equalizer with some of this fresh attacking talent they're throwing on? Rojay Smith, also a capable striker, has 4 goals this season. Maybe taking that one too far by himself. Now Venton Evans tearing it down the right-hand side. Evans across the middle, and it's Eric Leonard once again. You see Rojay Smith for the first time.
He's not the Energizer Bunny. He's got the right color shirt on for it, too. Eric Leonard just never stops running. The man of the minute. Yeah, it was a poor turnover by Saros Rad, his defensive partner. Evans on the run. Just couldn't find Ibarra.
Waldeck thought about the cross. Tap it back to Smart. Chattanooga getting a goal. On the road against Omaha. Greenville will appreciate that, but at the end of the day, like we were talking about earlier, a victory for any of these teams ends up challenging everybody else. Mo Espinoza scoring, courtesy of Jose Carrera Garcia. Avilanes will quickly take it himself, but Arozarena is wary of that option being taken and takes it in easily. Bit of a nutmeg pass there. And a player going down. We're going to say it's Greenville ball. I don't think it was for the foul, though, because they didn't call the foul. Just going to say it's a throw-in. Or perhaps they're just delayed on. Yep, it was just a delayed foul call. Under 15 minutes to go. Greenville looking to hang on to this lead, courtesy of Alan Gavilanes, but it was Jacob Lavovitz with the nifty move. Benton Evans over in the corner, trying to shake off Rod. He's able to get it out to Ibarra. Ibarra gets by Rojay Smith. Still with it is Ibarra. How does he still have that ball? Gets it to Labovitz. Hacking it forward. Ibarra on it again. And then it's cleared away by Osmond.
Great work there by Ibarra. Labovitz has just gone to his right. Would have had a better opportunity to get a shot away, but here come Madison now.
Roger Smith, he's got some pace on him. So Andrew Wheeler, Omiunu. Winding about Don Smart. Can he get around him? And looks like they're going to call the ball out of play for a goal kick. Or perhaps playing on here. Looks like that's what they're going to do. 6 half dozen the other at the end of things. See some collection of Greenville kits here.
The man in the white is watching something on his phone. I'm going to say he's watching our broadcast more.
Yeah.
Or college football game, perhaps.
Yeah, juggling it. Week 1, of course. Here's Ibarra. Tapping it back to Walker. And he draws the foul for a free kick.
Madison players dropping.
Andrew Wheeler, Omiunu, worse for wear. And checking up on him is Drew Connor, someone who has struggled to stay healthy this season. And on the other side, Jesus Ibarra, one of the substitutes. Here's a look on the 11-11 systems replay.
There's the foul, the clip on the heel. And Omiunu, yeah, just kind of went down in a heap. That was concerning there for a second. I would like to see that happening. Ibarra's still feeling it. Omiunu just out of gas. Run hard all night, as we knew he would. They really missed him earlier this season when he was out injured.
Always present on the pitch, Andrew Wheeler, Omiunu, not a guy who vanishes from games. Ibarra back up on his feet. And a quick water spray, and looks like he's going to be good to go.
Omiunu clearly in some distress here. We'll see if he's able to continue.
So Ibarra will have to walk off. I would imagine Wheeler Omiunu would as well.
Certainly going to add some time on at the end here.
Wheeler Omiunu, slowly making his way off. I'm not sure if that's a guy who's going to get waved back onto the game. But to get back to the order of business, it's a free kick for the Triumph. Aaron Walker behind the ball. Ref gives the go-ahead. Churning up something here. Waldeck with the chest down.
A little too early to perhaps to take it to the corner.
Smart just able to get that one away to Walker. Both players have been waved back on. Fenton Evans tries to shoot, but that one was only going up.
That one went into the darkness at Legacy Early College.
Yeah, I didn't see that one come down.
Balls are expensive. Hopefully somebody went to go grab it.
Couldn't quite be kept in play over on that right-hand side by Suko.
One thing those substitutions and those injuries did slow down the pace of this game.
Yeah.
taking the sting out of it a little bit. Greenville certainly won't mind that.
So Madison preparing a substitution for the beleaguered Andrew Wheeler-Omiunu. Wait for the proper dead ball situation. And if they want to take it, because Madison might want to hurry up on the free throw, or the throw in here. Mixing up sports. Connor with the back heel. Cleared away. Maldonado now. To Roje Smith. Tripped up, no foul called. Gavilanes gets it taken out of his possession by Rod. Connor chipping it over top. Jeremiah Strang, and he absolutely slices that one outside the outside foot of his boot.
Very un-Jeremiah Strang attempt there. Put money on him to at least hit it on target. Gavilanes is just trying a little too hard here to push forward. Left his team a little exposed on the return. This was a delightful bowling for Strang. Good first touch. He really should have done better there.
And here's the substitution. Malay Temgia will come in for Andrew Wheeler-Omiunu. It's his 13th appearance of the season. That substitution brought to you by Spinks. The last sub of the night for forward Madison. Greenville can make one more should they choose to. Whether it be Peter Pearson or Miles Fenton, shore up the defensive side of things. And it looks like we are going to see one of those guys come on. Cassini, with a bit of a push, draws the foul.
Silly from Labovitz. Just an elbow in the back. Now a very dangerous position. Derek Waldeck doesn't want to give the ball back. Drew Connor's upset. Referee was never going to let him take it quickly. She was issuing the card to Labovitz.
Jacob Labovitz with his 5th yellow card of the season. Time is starting to run out here for the Mingos. But a set piece opportunity is an opportunity. I know that's a bit of a Captain Obvious moment, but you can create a goal from any of these dead ball situations.
What happened to Jesus Ibarra?
So look at the yellow card again. Just getting in there and pushing.
Cassini landed into the back of Derek Waldeck.
Ibarra still on the ground. And so Ibarra, who is now down for the 2nd time, is going to get subbed out of this game despite just subbing in this half. And Miles Fenton is going to come in his stead. So he'll get walked off. He did say he hasn't been training the entire week.
He's walking a little gingerly.
Substitution presented by Spinks for Greenville.
Fenton will just provide some extra cover at defense in midfield. Certainly won't get as far forward as Ibarra.
Ibarra in the 87th minute.
This substitution brought to you by Spinks. Miles Fenton with his 16th appearance. And this is our last switch of personnel here. Neither side going to be able to sub in anybody else. Who expended all of their options in what's been a pretty fun game to watch. As Labovitz heads that one away. It's back inside. Connor pops it into the air again. Flicked forward for Leonard. Leonard into the center. Labovitz plays it upward. Still pinging around. Leonard tried to shoot. That should be a corner kick. And it will be a corner kick.
Not sure if appeals were for the corner or the handball.
Hold on tight, folks. Another set piece chance for Madison. That's Mikey Maldonado. Plays it short. Two players quickly close in on Roje Smith. Now Cassini. As they cycle it around the outside. Madison still holding onto the ball. Justin Suko on it now. Suko with the service. Punched away by Christensen. Greenville trying to hang on to this 1-goal lead. Now Cassini. And no one's over there.
It was a good fist from Christensen in the end. Had a lot of traffic to go through, so didn't decide to try and catch it.
Just trying to connect with Millet Temgia there. The German defender getting upward. Oh, baby.
She's got focus on this one. She knows how important these next 5 minutes. I'm going to say we're going to have at least 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this half.
So there is Millet Temgia. How many more moments do Madison have here on this one? Can they take advantage of it? They still lead by a considerable margin in the expected goals category. But stats are just simply that, stats.
It's interesting to see that Temgia has dropped back into a back four. Leaves Madison one short in front of them. Not exactly the kind of tactic you'd think you'd see with your team down 1 goal into the final few minutes. Cesar Marie was the only other outfield player left on the bench as an option, also a defender. That's poor.
Connor trying to roll it all the way down the pitch to Strang. They do have Leonard playing further up. As Rod has to track back to beat Gavilanes to that ball. Break over to the 90th minute. Can't wait to see what our 4th official pegs onto the board.
The 4th official has indicated 6
And there it is. Stoppage time brought to you by Engineered Sleep, the best handmade mattresses in town. Visit engineeredsleep.com for better sleep. But don't be going to bed yet.
Still got 2 games to come after this one.
Yeah.
9 o'clock start as well as a 10 o'clock. I'll be bringing you that 10 o'clock Charlotte at Tucson game. That should be a fun one. Well, you can see what he was trying to do there. Didn't pull it off though. Just trying to throw it at the Greenville player.
Suko over to Osmond. Rod to Roje Smith. He's escorted to a wall. Leonard now. Gets it to Strang. They're able to get that ball down the pitch, but breaking into this Greenville block, that's a different matter entirely. And Osmond swings that ball behind 2 running players for Madison. Now Labovitz set free running, but Rosarena is there. Fearlessly heading that ball.
Almost delightful pass by Vinton Evans. Just a little too much air underneath it.
We'll see how much far forward Rosarena starts cheating up as this clock continues to wind. Cassini working on Fenton. Gets to the top of the 18, and it's cleared away. After this one's over, if you want to catch the second half of Omaha and Chattanooga, you'll be able to do so. Or maybe if you're tuning us while they're at halftime break, hello. That one clipped off of Gavilanes. It'll be a Madison throw. Roger Smith. Gavilanes is coming up behind him. Still Smith. And looks like Jamie Smith was able to make that a throw-in as opposed to a corner kick. Salvage some of the damage. The difference in this one, a goal from Alan Gavilanes, courtesy of a apt pass from Jacob Labovitz on a breakaway. A goal in the 69th minute. Osmond goes over one's head. That ball's deflected. Miles Fenton, the one keeping that one from getting into the center of the 18 and then providing the touch there to pop it up the pitch. We're halfway through our stoppage time. The Mingos keep pushing forward, but haven't been able to truly test Paul Christensen. Roger Smith taps it out to Leonard.
One shot on target in the second half of Madison. This is how Greenville can be, especially when they've had time to get some fresh legs on. Just shut the door.
Suko. He's back to Temgia. Osmond floats this one up. Strang flicks it on. It's off the crossbar. Christensen may have gotten his hand on it as well. Here comes Rod going forward. Gavilanes tracking back. Headed up by Evan Lee.
Looked like more of a hopeful ball initially from Osmond. What a header by Strang.
Now here's some space. Here's the shot and the finish. Madison with a stoppage time equalizer. And it's Jeremiah Strang, the Finnish striker with his 7th of the season.
Just found that soft spot in the Greenville defense. Some tiring legs in the center there. Leon Fricky. And they forgot about Jeremiah Strang. Yeah, it was Derek Wildeck that was on him at the time. Nice pass, nice first touch, and an easy finish for Jeremiah Strang. Board on to do just that. He's tied things up here.
Mikey Maldonado with the nice pass threaded through to him. It's Maldonado's 4th assist of the season. Jeremiah Strang, although not a typical starter for Madison, is the team's leading goal scorer with 7 goals. But here's Venton Evans. Can Greenville respond immediately? Tapped away by Temgia. 30 seconds to go. The Triumph, they want 3 points. Miles Fenton hoofs this one up. And Arozarena comes down with it. He's holding on to it as long as he can. Madison looking to come away with some points on the road. And that'll do it here. Emma Richards blows the final whistle. Madison able to steal away a point on the road in stoppage time, thanks to Mikey Maldonado and Jeremiah Strang. Matt Glazer with a, looks like a bit of a shrug there. A well-fought match between these two sides, though, Ross. And I think that although there's a little bit of frustration from Greenville that they didn't get the 3 points, I think both teams can be happy with how their teams played.
No, I think so. Madison didn't really look like threatening in that second half, but found the goal when they had to.
But they did have some good moments here as we look at the save of the game, brought to you by Bravo One Protection. Paul Christensen with a bit of a 1-2 play here from the keeper.
Key first touch. Stop it from getting to Bartman. Christensen here at full stretch to palm that one away.
That's Paul Christensen.
As always, thank you for supporting.
Let's take a look at our play of the game, brought to you by GSP Airport.
Together we triumph.
Lovely ball by Ibarra, who unfortunately had to get substituted. Vince with the layoff to the wide open Gavilanes, and at that point, relatively comfortable, but one piece of magic from Maldonado to Strang. And we're all evened up here after 90 minutes.
We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll give you our post-game thoughts, brought to you by Priority One Security. 2-2, your final score.
It's not about building a home in just 30 hours for a deserving family with Habitat for Humanity, or about building homes for a national television competition. It's about building memorable experiences with our community, team members, and trade partners that will last for a lifetime. Hunter Quinn Homes, building the difference.
Hey, Triumph fans! Whenever the Greenville Triumph scored not one goal, but 2 goals during a home game, you score big with happy hour pricing and all specialty beers at Habitat. Just bring your game day ticket or tell your server eat more beer to enjoy these special beers paired with fresh, scratch-made food. We also offer an extensive menu of cocktail, wines, and a great place to watch all the away games of the Greenville Triumph. Swing by Habitat and cheer on the team. Habitat, proud sponsor of the Greenville Triumph.
Welcome back here for our final post-game thoughts, presented by Priority One Security. Your final score, 2-2, thanks to Jeremiah Strang, late game goal to level things up for forward Madison. So it'll be points shared between the Triumph and the Mingos as we look at the full-time highlights presented by GSP Airport. Starting off with number 17, or in the 17th minute, Nico Brown. A wonderful curler here.
Turnover started by Waldeck. That's a lovely finish. That was right now. Tried to get over. Too much accuracy and power on that shot from Nico Brown, his second of the season. Just 5 minutes later, we tied at 1.
Mateus Cassini doing some work on Derek Waldeck here. Lovely ball. Nazim Bartman gets the job finished.
Placed header by Bartman. Disappointing defensively again by Greenville. 2 players there. Bartman splits them, finds the far corner.
Then, first off, Ibarra finding Labovitz, and then Labovitz finding Gavilanes to make it 2-1.
Good job of hanging on the shoulder of the last line of defense there. Gavilanes behind the ball, onside. Going Greenville's way. Thought they might get the 3 points, but Jeremiah Strang would say differently.
In the dying moments of this game, Maldonado, great pass. Jeremiah Strang, the substitute, gets the job finished.
Watch Maldonado, a lovely little fake to shoot it. That sort of froze this Greenville defense. And it turned off for just a split second, and that was enough for Strang. With a one-on-one opportunity, he's going to finish those more often than not. 24 total shots, 8 on target. Madison with the possession edge, as expected. We'll split the spoils here in Greenville. They will move into first place for now. Richmond idle this weekend.
Like you mentioned, Greenville, well, depends on how the Omaha-Chattanooga game wraps up as we look at the standings, brought to you by Hopkins Eye Center. But as of right now, sitting top of the table with that extra point in hand over the Richmond Kickers. But there's still a lot of action to be had here tonight in USL League One. Charlotte Independence have the opportunity to hop over Madison if they could get 3 points over FC Tucson on the road, which would put Madison below the playoff line. Like we said, shifting and more shifting in the USL League One table. And there is some shifting in the balance of this game here today between the Triumph and Forward Madison. We got a lot of fun League One action coming your way for the rest of this night. But if you're signing off in League One action today, we hope you appreciated this one. We appreciated having you here for our entire broadcasting crew. Ross Davenport, I'm Mark Schoenster saying so long, and until next time on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.